Hi guys, so this is my first video and I decided that I wanted to do something with the Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon that's going on right now. It starts today. It's a small TBR because I'm in school right now and I have a lot of papers due in the next week or so, but I thought I would pick up a few books from my shelf and see how far I ended up. So I think 3 books is probably the upper limit of what I'm going to get to. So I started with Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, and I've read Virginia Woolf before. I read The Waves in high school, and I found it interesting. I feel like I might have been a little young to read it, so it'll be nice to go back and read Virginia Woolf at a time when I feel like I can appreciate it more. And this is the Vintage Classics edition. I feel like I got it for a cheap price at my local bookstore, and it's got a nice picture on the front, nice cover. Gotta like that. And it is 172 pages plus the foreword, which I will read because with the classic books I do generally like to read the foreword. Give some perspective and often some historical context, which is always helpful. Next up is looking a little beat up, but it's by David Foster Wallace, and it's a supposedly fun thing I'll never do again, which is a collection of essays. And I originally purchased this book for a nonfiction class I took as an undergraduate, and I really enjoyed it, but we only read a few essays in here, so I want to go back and read the rest of them. And I love David Foster Wallace's voice. It's very different. It's very kind of that snarky East Coast academic voice that not everyone loves, and I don't always love because it's a very kind of narrow perspective, but every once in a while I do appreciate it. And this is published by Back Bay Books, which I think is a subsidiary of Little Brown. And yeah, it's got this kind of distorted photo on the cover of a young boy, and I'm just very excited to go through and finish the rest of these. The last one I have is Slouching Toward Bethlehem by Joan Didion. So this one I picked up for the same literary nonfiction class that I got the David Foster Wallace for. With this one, I actually don't really remember any of it. You can see my stickies in there. I actually did a presentation on this book at one point in the semester, and I remember really enjoying the stories that I read. Again, I didn't read all of them. But I think it's one of those things that I finished my assignment and kind of just wiped this from my mind because it was just a stressful time, you know. Last year of undergrad, applying to grad schools, yeah, because it was the fall, so I was in the process of applying to grad schools, and it was crazy. So I'm going to have to go back through when I'm reading. I think I'm going to reread the entire thing, unlike the David Foster Wallace, where I'm like going to read the stories that I haven't seen before. This one, since I don't remember it, I'm just going to go through and reread it, and I'll have to like look at my sticky notes and highlighting as I'm going through to see kind of what I was thinking at the time. I think that'll be interesting. So this is kind of a small TBR for the readathon, but considering how much I have going on this week, this is kind of the best I could do, so I'm happy with it, and hopefully I'll be able to get through all 3, and I will post updates as I go if there's anything to update everyone on. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Bye.